course I will. It's like watching a car crash, isn't it? That's what we do. People do. That's what it is. 58-year-old guys fighting. I'm not a big fan of that. Of course, I'm not a big fan of that, and it shouldn't.
Frank Warren described the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson as ridiculous, likening it to watching a car crash unfold. On the other end, Eddie Hearn also has the same thoughts about the fight. He expressed deep concern over the prospect of a 58-year-old Mike Tyson returning to the ring. He reflected on Tyson's career, noting that the legendary fighter had been worn out when he retired nearly 2 decades ago, and it seemed unlikely that age could bring any improvement. Hearn pointed out that after so much time, Tyson's physical condition could only deteriorate, and anyone watching his last fights would see he was already well past his prime.
I think it's very dangerous for someone of 58 years old to be fighting. I mean, the reality is that Mike Tyson was a shot fighter when he left the sport. And that was, what, 20 years ago? What do you think? He's improved? He's no. I mean, you're gonna deteriorate so bad over that period that if you go back and watch his last few fights, he was done, gone.
As a devoted boxing fan, Hearn found the situation saddening. Tyson had been one of his heroes growing up, which made the idea of his return at this age difficult to accept. Though Hearn acknowledged that the fight would be a major event, attracting viewers for its entertainment value, he felt that for those who idolized Tyson, this spectacle wasn't easy to support.
You're asking the wrong guy. I'm a hardcore boxing fan. He's one of my heroes. I find it very sad. But it's a big event. I understand people are going to watch it, and it's entertainment, I guess. But for someone that idolised the guy growing up, yeah, not the best day. He's 58 years old.
You've got this fight coming up, Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. What do you feel about that?
Just when you think that we live in a crazy world, don't we? Where that younger generation is built off views, built off narrative, built off controversy, and as a hardcore fight fan, someone that's been around boxing since I was 9 years old, I find it disgusting that a 58-year-old man who was my hero growing up, firstly has to even get back in the ring. You know, to get in the ring with a 25-year-old guy. You know, speaking to the Netflix guys the other day, I don't think they like my criticism of the event. I'm never gonna lie to you. I'm never gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna give you my honest opinion, which is it will sell, people will watch, it will be a big event, and I don't like it.
However, Gene Kilroy, one of the last surviving members of Muhammad Ali's close-knit circle, was instrumental in shaping Ali's career, helping him ascend to legendary status and global recognition. Kilroy, who often referred to Ali as his best friend, now sees a similar resilience and determination in Tyson. In the 7th episode of Behind the Mic, Kilroy expressed his amazement at Tyson's impressive performance. "This is the strongest I've ever seen you. I know you since you're 13. I think this is so impressive. This impressed the shit out of me. Nothing impresses me," said Kilroy to Tyson.
"This is the strongest I've ever seen you."
Yeah?
Yeah, the strongest I've ever, and I know you since you're 13. I think this impressed the shit out of me. Nothing impresses me. You know, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't lie. I was worried about him traveling here, traveling there, he's not getting, I can sleep now at night. This is great.
Tyson assured Kilroy that his age is no barrier to him. "I don't know what the word old. I don't feel that," Tyson remarked. Despite approaching his 60s, the boxing icon has maintained a rigorous training regimen, incorporating sparring sessions, running, and challenging boxing exercises.
20 seconds.
Kilroy portrayed Mike Tyson as a relentless workhorse, training and running on his own. He remarked that Tyson's mind remains enigmatic, highlighting that few people genuinely grasp his complexities, especially considering the hardships he has endured.
Let me tell you about Mike Tyson. He's not afraid of work. He would get up and run by himself, do his own thing. He's a workaholic. He's a very unique individual. You never know the real Mike Tyson. I don't care who you are. You know, he's his own person. You never know what he's thinking, but he's been through a lot.
Lennox Lewis initially thought Jake Paul might be in trouble against Mike Tyson, given Tyson's expertise in delivering powerful body and head shots. Lewis felt Tyson's experience could pose a real threat, though he acknowledged the challenge of boxing at Tyson's age. Moving around the ring, throwing punches, and taking hits is no small feat for anyone nearing 60. Despite these obstacles, Lewis believed Tyson might still be able to hold his own in the ring.
And what did you initially think when you heard that Mike Tyson was going to be getting in the ring with Jake? I was thinking that Jake Paul was going to be in trouble because, you know, Mike Tyson knows how to throw great body punches, great headshots. And, you know, we'll just have to see if he's going to do them in the ring. I'm hoping that he'll do that. It's a task. You know, it's hard to box at when you're that old, moving around the ring, throwing punches, getting punches thrown at you. But I think he can handle it.
Brendan Schaub expressed confusion about the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, saying there's no real benefit for Jake. If Jake knocks out Tyson, he's just beating up an old man. If he loses, it makes him look bad. A decision would be a disaster for both Jake and Netflix. Schaub argued the only winner would be Tyson, who gains respect regardless of the outcome, and questioned if the fight would lead to other matchups like Tyson versus Logan Paul or KSI.
I love Mike Tyson, love Jake. I hope it crushes, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out the upside to this. Let's go through the scenario here. If you're Jake, so you knock him out, horrible, dude. What the f? You just beat up an old man. You get knocked out. They told you this guy's a joke. You get beat up by a 58-year-old. The third scenario here is it goes to decision. That's a disaster and nobody's coming back. That's a disaster business-wise for Netflix. It's a disaster for Jake Paul. What went to decision with 58-year-old Mike Tyson? The only person who wins is not Netflix, not Jake Paul. Mike Tyson wins. He can do no wrong. He gets knocked out. He's 58. Still getting paid. He beats Jake Paul. Yeah, all the old guys are like, yeah, daddy. Goes to decision, Mike Tyson wins. For Netflix, dude, I don't know. Let's say Mike Tyson wins. What are you going to do? What's next? Mike Tyson and then Logan Paul to revenge his brother? And then Mike Tyson, KSI? That's the business model? Okay.
Frank Warren acknowledged the inevitable attention the fight would attract, likening it to a car crash that people can't look away from. He expressed great respect for Jake Paul and his team, recognizing them as good people and a joy to work with, though he didn't support the idea of a 58-year-old like Tyson fighting.
Next weekend, we're seeing Mike Tyson return to the ring. Will you watch?
Of course I will. It's like watching a car crash, isn't it? That's what we do. People do. That's what it is. You know, I really have the greatest respect for Jake and his team. They're really good people. I've worked with them. They are, and you know, they've been a joy to work with. 58-year-old guys fighting. I'm not a big fan of that. Of course, I'm not a big fan of that, and it shouldn't. And guys at that age should be fighting.
Warren emphasized that while he personally didn't endorse the fight, Tyson and his team had the right to make their own decision. He pointed out that the governing body in Texas had allowed the fight, and as long as it was medically regulated with all parties aware of the risks, it was ultimately Tyson's choice.
But they have their own mind. They have the governing body, whoever it is in Texas. They've allowed it to happen as long as it's medically regulated, as long as everybody knows, and they certainly know what the risks are going into it. That's their choice. Me, it's not something I particularly would endorse, but you know, we're in a democracy, and if people want to climb a mountain, if they want to dive to the deepest depths of the sea, they want to go up in a rocket into space, that's their choice. Sometimes people need protecting from themselves.
Reflecting on Tyson's past performances, Warren predicted that Tyson might show glimpses of his vintage self in the first round, but after that, the fight's outcome was uncertain. He recalled how, in a previous fight against Danny Williams, he'd warned that Tyson's power would be overwhelming early on, but questioned how he would fare as the fight progressed. Warren concluded that regardless of the result, the fight would draw record viewership, with people tuning in out of curiosity, much like slowing down to observe a car crash.
We will see. You know, one thing about the fight, I think for probably a round, you're going to get a vintage Mike Tyson coming out and doing what he does. After that, we'll see where he goes. I remember making the fight years ago against him and Danny Williams, and I said to Danny Williams at the time, let me tell you, for 2 rounds, you are gonna think it's World War III. After that, we'll see what happens, and you have the ability to beat him after that happened, and that's what we did. What is Mike going to do now? Who knows? I mean, but one thing's for sure, it's going to get record viewing because people will buy into it, rightly or wrongly. You know, it's like a car crash, as I said at the start of this. People slow down on the motorway to see what's happening.
However, Mike Tyson remarked that Jake Paul occasionally buys into his own hype, suggesting that in major fights, a fighter may need to adopt a delusional mindset and view themselves as someone they're not. Tyson also stated that he thinks Paul is in serious trouble, offering a caution about the difficult challenges that lie ahead.
Do you think Jake Paul's taking you serious? The way that he's talking about this fight?
Hey, listen,
Jake believes his own lies sometimes. You know, I guess when you're in a big fight, you have to become delusional and believe you're somebody that you're actually not. But he's in a lot of trouble, I believe.
Jake Paul recognized that Tyson appeared in excellent form, admitting he felt both excited and intimidated by the challenge. He called the upcoming fight the toughest of his career, facing his most experienced opponent yet. Acknowledging Tyson's recent success in sparring and his peak physical condition, Jake planned to outbox him and demonstrate his abilities, with the goal of knocking out one of the greatest boxers of all time on November 15th.
Yeah, man, he's looking really, really good. I'm definitely a little bit crazy, and I'm definitely a little bit scared. You know, this is the toughest fight I've had to date against the most experienced opponent. It's at heavyweight, and Tyson's dropping people in sparring.
Tyron Woodley analyzed the upcoming fight, calling it evenly matched due to Mike Tyson's age and being past his prime. While acknowledging Tyson's intense past fights, Woodley believed Jake Paul still had a chance. He noted that Paul was in a win-win situation. If he wins, he earns respect, and if he loses, he can justify it by facing tough opponents like Woodley, Anderson Silva, and the Diaz brothers.
It's a very even fight, to be honest. It's even because of the age of Mike Tyson. And it's
okay.
I think it's an even fight because of the age of Mike Tyson. He's completely, obviously, out of his prime. When in his prime, most of his fights were almost attempted murder. So literally, Jake wouldn't have stood a chance. Nobody would even commission or sanction a fight against him and Mike Tyson. And Jake's always on a win-win situation. He's fighting guys that, if he lose, you lost to this guy, you lost to Tyron, you lost to Anderson Silva, you lost to Nick Diaz or Nate Diaz or whatever. So he's always in a position where if he wins, he goes up. If he loses, it's like, okay, he took a risk, he took a chance. So
Woodley expressed excitement for the fight and confirmed he would be attending. Although initially scheduled to fight on the card, he chose to support the event after a suitable opponent couldn't be found. He mentioned that he didn't have a clear pick for the winner and was looking forward to seeing how the fight played out. WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes recognized that fans are eager to witness a legendary Mike Tyson knockout, but pointed out that Jake and Logan Paul train at a high-level gym in Puerto Rico, demonstrating impressive discipline despite their confident personas. In the end, Rhodes believes Jake Paul will emerge victorious.
That's a tricky one. I mean, I think everyone, when it comes to a Mike Tyson fight, even today, want to see this big legendary Mike Tyson knockout, but Logan Paul and Jake Paul have a wonderful gym, Problem Child gym down there in Puerto Rico, where I once got to visit, and I was blown away by, they have every modern training thing you could possibly think of, surrounded by the best professionals. And I know you see them in all these social and these influence videos and all this different content creation. They have such an arrogance and such a bravado, but if you've ever met either of the Pauls, they seem to be the most disciplined guys in the room. So as much as I love Mike Tyson, I think that's Jake Paul all the way.
WWE superstar Triple H acknowledged the challenge of facing an older Mike Tyson, suggesting that even a brief moment of Tyson's power could be dangerous. He proposed a strategy of evading Tyson for a few rounds, hoping he would tire out. While respecting both fighters for taking on the challenge, Triple H also expressed concerns about Tyson's health. Ultimately, he stated that if Tyson decides to fight and passes medical evaluations, he should be allowed to compete. Rampage Jackson voiced his strong support for Mike Tyson, his favorite boxer. Despite Tyson's age and health issues, Rampage wouldn't bet against him. He recognized the unpredictability of the ring, but emphasized his loyalty and admiration for Tyson's legacy.
I never bet against Mike Tyson. He's my favorite boxer.
Yeah. You think he can, he's had a health scare and everything. He's only getting older.
Yeah. Father time undefeated, but you know what I'm saying, I still ain't gonna go against Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. Anything can happen in the boxing ring, but I ain't gonna go against Mike Tyson.
TK Kirkland recognized Jake Paul's talent, but likened fighting Mike Tyson to riding a bike for Tyson, given their 30-year age difference. While he acknowledged Paul's youth, Kirkland pointed out that Tyson's vast experience could play a crucial role. He believed that Tyson's skill and ring experience might ultimately give him the upper hand.
But when you're Mike Tyson, is like riding the bike. So by Mike Tyson 30-year difference, I think that it equals the same. Yes, the kid got youth on his side, but because he's not as experienced as Mike is, I think that Mike could get him on.
Boxing heavyweight legend Vladimir Klitschko praised the fight, seeing Mike's ongoing presence in the ring as a strong testament to perseverance. He believes that age is just a number and is even contemplating a return to boxing after observing Mike's performance at this stage in his life.
Well, that's also outstanding as this fight in Riyadh.
Mike Tyson at his age is facing a YouTuber that is much younger and hungry and capable of boxing as well. So it's going to be a good example for people that are at Mike's age.
Yeah.
It's also actually a good example for me to keep on punching, so to speak, and hopefully, and I look forward to that match as well. You can only be too old in your mind.
Yeah.
If you control your mind, you control everything in your life.
In a dramatic twist, Roy Jones Jr. has sided with former rival Mike Tyson to triumph over Jake Paul, predicting a points victory in their much-anticipated heavyweight clash. Despite concerns from fans that Iron Mike, who will be 58 at the time of the fight, may not last the full 8 rounds against Paul, Jones Jr. has dismissed these worries. "When I boxed him 4 years ago, we did 2-minute rounds, and surprisingly, he didn't lose energy. He kept the same pace," he said. WWE legend Hulk Hogan is worried about Mike Tyson and hopes that Jake Paul doesn't kill the heavyweight icon when the two square off in the ring later this year. The WWE legend also insists Paul is super strong, as he made a kill claim about the upcoming meeting. He said to Logan Paul, "Your brother's too strong, bro. He's really, actually super strong," Logan agreed. "The weight he pushes in the gym is impressive."
Your brother's too strong, bro. He's too strong, right? Yeah. And he's like really actually super strong. Like, he doesn't look like it. He maybe does look like it a little bit, but like the weight he pushes in the gym is impressive.
Yeah, last night, as soon as I saw him, set the guy who left and kept on over there, right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Freddie Roach expressed confidence in Mike Tyson's prospects for his upcoming fight against Jake Paul. Despite the 31-year age difference, Tyson at 58 and Paul at 27, Roach believes Tyson's experience and skill will give him the upper hand. He feels that Tyson's extensive training and deep understanding of boxing strategy will allow him to counter Paul's youthful energy and unorthodox style effectively.
I train Tyson, I like Mike a lot, and he does come by my gym once in a while to say hello and visit and stuff. And then all of a sudden his fight's coming up, and it's a younger, maybe stronger man. But no, I can't say stronger.
Joseph Parker believes that Mike's age is not on his side. He believes the saying of power going last, but also questions how much power is left when you're 58 years old. He says that Mike looks in good shape, but it will be a hard fight to watch.
Listen, I'm all for boxing and all for big fights, but Mike Tyson is a legend, and no matter how great he was in the past with the ferocious style that he had and punches that he thrown and knocking everyone out, 58 years old is old for a fighter. And Jake Paul has the youth on the side, and with each fight he is getting better and better. So it's just, I think it's a hard fight to watch. It will be a hard fight to watch because you just don't want to see Mike. If Mike comes out and knocks him out, then we're going to be like, listen, he's, so the power, I think, is the last thing to go. But at 58 years old, how much power is left? And we do see short clips, but you're right, we're not sure what happens before and after those clips.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Michael Buffer anticipates an intriguing matchup, acknowledging that while Tyson feels confident heading into the fight, he believes it's not the best decision for Tyson to step into the ring at his age. Buffer emphasized the risks involved and the potential impact on Tyson's legacy.
Right now is a guy that's happy in his own skin. He feels good. He's 50-something, and this might not be the best thing for him. I think it's going to be 2-minute rounds. He still looks like a guy that if he hits you, he can knock you out. And Jake Paul has, while he hasn't cracked the top 10 of boxing, maybe he actually has as a cruiserweight. He's shown he's a great athlete, and he's got like a will to win. He really he fights to win. He doesn't go there to play games. So it's
Promoter Ben Shalom thinks that Mike Tyson is taking a huge risk for stepping in the ring with Jake Paul, as he is too old to fight now. He said, "I'm all for entertainment, but where it stops for me is when it makes a mockery of the sport. When you think about the dedication that fighters put into their professional craft, you don't want that to then be taken the out of. Having a 58-year-old in a professional boxing fight is clearly not professional, and that's where the line has to be drawn for these fights." He further added, "It's okay for entertainment, but for me, it's a major step too far, making it pro. It is a circus act. You couldn't get anything more ridiculous. When they try to take each other's heads off, there are then a lot of medical risks for an older fighter." Tyson. Adam Catterall shared mixed feelings about the upcoming fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. He acknowledged Tyson's remarkable fitness for his age, noting that he's not your typical 58-year-old, fold, but a former undisputed champion with vast ring experience. Catterall supported Tyson's exhibition match with Roy Jones Jr., viewing it as a nostalgic opportunity for two legends to display their skills without significant risk.
Like I said, Mike Tyson's 58 years of age, but he's not a normal 58-year-old. He keeps himself in incredible shape. He's the former undisputed champion. He knows what he's doing when he's in there. And when a couple of years ago he had that exhibition fight with Roy Jones Jr., and I was all for it. I actually supported that because two legends of the game having a little bit of a trip down memory lane because the fire's still burning for him, showing everybody that nostalgia. They know how to defend themselves. They know how to make it look appealing, and they also know how to not hurt each other, if that makes sense. So therefore, I was all for them making that work and having a little bit of fun that night. And I think we all did have a little bit of fun that night when we saw those two guys have a go at it.
Travis Kelce expressed his support for Jake Paul, citing his youth, but found it strange to say so. He leaned toward Jake for the win, but was unsure about a knockout, questioning if knockouts were permitted. Kelce also noted he had never seen Mike Tyson get knocked out.
Cleveland kid, even though Mike is, golly, I feel silly saying that, but I'll take Jake with the youth.
Knockout?
I don't know about a knockout. Are they allowed to knock each other out?
Yes, they are.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Real fight.
I don't know about a knockout, man. I've never seen Mike get knocked out.
Michael Conlon shared a mix of curiosity and concern about the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. While he acknowledged that the matchup is intriguing and will attract viewers, he expressed worry about the potential risks for Tyson. Conlon also noted the unusual dynamics of modern boxing and questioned the motivations behind the fight, including the financial factors at play for Tyson. Ultimately, he plans to watch, though with apprehension, hoping for a safe outcome for the legendary fighter.
You will out of intrigue.
Listen, everybody will watch it, won't they, really? Let's be honest. It's intriguing just to see, but the things I've heard, the rumours I've heard about that, like, the longer the fight goes, the more money Tyson will make. If he knocks him in the first round, he barely makes any money. I've heard all these type of rumours. I don't know if they're true, but I've heard loads of rumours like that. And
that can't be part of it.
You never know, though. Listen,
Different world, isn't it?
it's a completely different world. And if that's the case, wow. But I'll watch it. But I'll watch it through my fingers because I don't want to see Tyson getting hurt.
Obviously, last one, come to yourself. Obviously, no rush to come back, no fight date in mind, whether you do in the back of your mind, but you're training in Sheffield.
Donald Cerrone said Mike Tyson still has his power, and if he connects, Jake could be in trouble. He suggested that if Mike fights aggressively, he could potentially knock Jake out.
Mike still got it, so he hits him, he's going down. You think he knocks him out over there? I don't know how nice Mike will be, but if the killer Mike goes in there, yeah, he's putting him down.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.